Of December 16, 2021 to order. Roll call, please.
Alderman Ace.
Here.
Alderman Catalano.
Here.
Alderman Currielli.
Here.
Alderman Jacob.
Here.
Alderman Messina.
Here.
Alderman Sorrentino. Alderman Sismarski. Alderman Woods.
Here. Alderman Sismarski is here.
Just entered the building.
And Mayor, please.
Here, I declare a quorum present. Please stand and join the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, first off, I need a motion to approve the minutes of December 2nd, 2021.
So moved.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any comments, corrections, or questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? That passes. Do any citizens wish to be heard on matters not listed on the agenda? Okay, I have no written communiques. Under Mayor's report, only one thing. On behalf of the entire City Council, staff, and everyone in Wooddale, we'd like to wish all the residents a very Merry Christmas and a happy and healthy New Year. And we'd like you to stay safe and enjoy the holidays.
Merry Christmas.
Next, Mr. Murmas, City Manager's report.
One very important item, I would like to thank city staff and city council for another year of hard work and a job well done. Looking forward to working with everybody in 2022. Also would like to remind everybody that we will be having no meetings now until Thursday, January 6th. That concludes my report.
Thank you. Next, consent agenda. If no objections, we have 6 items on the consent agenda.
I'll make a motion to approve. Second.
We have a motion and we have a second. There was no objections, correct?
Correct.
Roll call.
Alderman Ace.
Yes.
Alderman Catalano.
Yes.
Alderman Currielli.
Yes.
Alderman Jacob.
Yes.
Alderman Messina.
Yes.
Alderman Sorrentino. Sorry. Alderman Sismarski.
Yes.
Alderman Woods.
Yes. And that passes. Next, I'll need a motion to approve the items on the agenda. Item number 1, an ordinance annexing certain territory commonly known as 17 West 102 Stoneham Street to the city of Wooddale, DuPage County, Illinois. Item number 2, an ordinance approving a lot consolidation and map amendment, rezoning property commonly known as 469 Stoneham Street, Wooddale, Illinois 60191. Item number 3, a resolution approving an agreement between the City of Wooddale and Kiosic Tree Services for the brush collection program 4 years in an amount not to exceed $180,600. Item number 4, a resolution approving an agreement between the City of Wooddale and H.R. Green Incorporated for Phase 1 engineering services for Elizabeth Drive Trail Extension Project in an amount not to exceed $34,800. Item number 5, a resolution authorizing the City of Wooddale to enter into an insurance, benefit, liability, auto insurance, city property, and crime insurance in the amount of $196,495. Item number 6, a resolution authorizing the City of Wooddale to enter into an insurance agreement with the Illinois Public Risk Fund for workers' compensation insurance in the amount of $372,367. Do I have a motion?
Make that motion. Second.
I have a motion and a second. Roll call, please.
Alderman Ames.
Yes.
Alderman Catalano.
Yes.
Alderman Currielli.
Yes.
Alderman Jacob.
Yes.
Alderman Messina.
Yes.
Alderman Sismarski.
Yes.
Alderman Woods.
Yes.
And that passes. Next, committee chairman reports, planning and zoning. Alderman Woods.
No report, Mayor.
Thank you. Next, public health and safety. Alderman Sismarski.
No report, Mayor.
Thank you. Public works. Alderman Messina.
Yes, so on the report, Mayor, a resolution approving an agreement between the City of Wooddale and trade services contractors for Phase 1 renovations and additions to the Public Works facility. That is my motion.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Any questions on this? Mr. Lang, did you want to?
Yes, thank you, Mayor. Fred is actually passing out a revised recommendation letter to you right now. We corrected a couple figures. And he will give a brief presentation. At last week's committee meeting, we had for you the bid tabulations from the various bid packages. Fred's going to take you through what due diligence he's done in that time, meeting with the apparent low bidders, where these recommendations stand in comparison to the schematic design budget and his recommendations for award. So I'll give it over to Fred right now.
Okay, I'll give it my best here. So I passed out a new letter, which is the recommendations, and I can go through this individually this is kind of a recap of how it went. We had, this line here is the budget that we were setting. These are the bids that actually came in, and these are the variances in the bids.
Excuse me one second. We need to stay at the mic.
Oh, sorry.
Sorry.
How's that? A little better that way.
Can you start over, please?
Sure. Okay, so this shows the type of work. This is the budget in here that we established at the last master budget. And these are the bids received. And this is the variances to the bids from the budget. And these are the names of the low bidders of the project. In my letter, I explain each bid package, and I can go through these, let you know what we've done. So we had, the first one that we received was for demolition, which we received, is in the letter here, we received 8 bids. USD demolition was the low bidder at $92,000. And behind, did you pass out? I'm sorry, did you pass out the breakdowns, recaps? Okay, so you have those recaps.
We have those in the packet, yes, sir.
Yes. We've worked with USD many a time, so they're a very good contractor as far as including all the demolitions required. We did sit down with each one of these trades after the bids and met with them, run through the scope, make sure they had everything, try to see if there's some things that maybe they didn't need to have where we could possibly save some money as well, which happened in a few different categories. The next one, which was carpentry and general trades, was RB Construction. They're at Villa Park. They included everything that was required, plus they had a couple things in there that we didn't really need that was taken out by addenda, such as salvaging all the old marker boards that were in there, glued to the wall, and some wood shelving that's going to go included with demolition. So we took that out of his bid, which was the $4,100. And then he also included concrete sealer, which we covered by another bid package. So since he duplicated it, we took that out of his bid as well. So we saved that $12,000 that didn't need to be in there. Millwork, we only received one bid on millwork, which was Hargrave Construction. They're a good contractor. We've used them in the past as well. Millwork is getting to be a problem as far as getting numbers. Casework is hard to get. A lot of school projects are out for bid, so people are really chasing some of the bigger jobs. But we've got this covered. We are looking at some alternatives here with the casework to maybe try to save some additional money. But we're having the architect check those things out before we recommend a change. Hollow metal doors and frames, which is this one here. We had a budget of $35,430. We didn't get any bids. No, we sent it out to many people, but no one turned in a bid. Like I said, there's a lot of stuff out there bidding right now. This is not a very big door and frame piece, and we didn't get any bids. So I'm keeping the number in that we budgeted, No savings at this time, and we're gonna get bids for it, and then we'll present the bids accordingly. We'll go out and chase them, get some in bids, and make sure that it gets covered. And once we know that number, we'll let you know what that difference might be. If there's an overage there, I think we'll just take it out of contingency that we're holding on the job. Bid package 9, which is tiling, ceramic tile. These are for the 6 bathrooms as well as and showers that we're putting in the building. We are also looking at that item. The budget was based on material allowances for the tile. So the labor is included, the glue is included, everything's included. Tile's included, but it's included at an allowance for material. So we're gonna be working with the architect to select the right material. If the material price goes down, the credit would go towards the job. Next one is acoustical ceilings. I believe High Cotter was the low bidder. And he had everything covered. It's all new ceilings, all new grid, as shown on the plans. Next one was epoxy flooring and sealer. So this is the bid package that had the sealer. So we left it here. This is the right person to be putting it in. They're doing concrete sealer throughout the storage area, which is the east side of the building. And we're doing epoxy floors in the mud room, the locker room, and the corridor that leads to the bathrooms. So that's going to have a little better hard surface epoxy, easy cleaning floor. We have not worked with this contractor, but he has a pretty good qualification statement behind him. He is providing a bid bond, he's providing a bond, and he said he just recently did some work with the Park District Wooddale up at the golf facility. Next item is resilient and floor and carpet. The low bidder on that was Pinnacle Flooring, who we have worked with in the past. His bid is $72,500. Same thing there, same as the ceramic tile. Materials are put in as an allowance for material. And once we have the selections made of the actual material, we'll adjust accordingly. Sure.
When you say there's an allowance placed,
So,
are we in the middle of the road, high-end items, or bottom of the barrel items, and
No.
when we go to pick the stuff we want?
I think we're at the high-end items, to be honest with you.
So there could be some savings.
Yes,
That's what I wanted.
yeah. And we felt that the allowances were a little heavy, but we left it, that's what they put in there, so we left it, and we'll hopefully get some money back on that. If we buy it at that material, then it won't get any savings, of course.
Alderman Messina got
Is there a
it.
typo on there? I
Yeah.
list Johnson, it's Pinnacle.
Let's see,
The
ceramic tile.
Resilient flooring and carpeting.
Johnson.
You,
Yeah, okay.
Supposed to be Pinnacle.
It's right in the packet. That's all
Yeah, it
right.
should be Pinnacle.
Okay.
I think the, part of that was, if I remember correctly, there was an alternator or a change that could take it to make one or the other, but Pinnacle was the paramount bidder. I can pull up here just to make sure, so we don't make mistakes here. Yeah, Pinnacle flooring was at $72,500, and Johnson was $78,000, so Pinnacle was a little bidder.
72.5, you said?
$72,500 is Pinnacle.
We're looking at 65,244.
8.
Tyler? Oh, you're looking at the.
They're here,
okay.
this is the awarded amount.
Oh, I'm looking up top.
This is the budget, so we're.
Got it.
Again, we're over budget, but again, once we pick the tile, I think we'll pick that up.
Okay. No, I was looking at the Johnson up above, 3 above.
Oh, okay, this one here.
Okay.
Again, I feel that we can find this money once we select the materials. At least that's what we're gonna press the architect for too. Painting, low bidder was May Decorating, and he's pretty close to where his budget was. The second bidder was $200 difference, so it was a pretty good bid there. Lockers and benches, which is Bradford Industries Systems. They're spec, they're cold spec actually, they're a very good locker. They do a lot of lockers for police stations and all kinds of public work facilities. These lockers are pretty nice lockers. They're wide, they're deep. They also have a boot drawer below the locker, so you can take your muddy boots, put them in there, and it's got a bench that is built in with that. Pre-engineered metal building. So this is the getting a person on board to work with us through the final design of the pre-engineered building. This is what was budgeted. This is where it came in at. We had 2 bids. They were somewhat close together. This is based on the latest design that you've probably seen in the last meeting, with the single slope roof, the window slits all around the building, and higher ceilings on one side, lower on the other. Total building enclosure, so you don't have an open space for storage. Everything's inside the building, clear span. So all those things that from conceptual to design have changed and now are included in this package. There's a little bit of overage there as well, and there are ways that maybe we can save that money, and we can talk about those with the Public Works Department if things are truly all needed. And that's, I guess, something that can be brought back to you and made final. Originally, we started with double slope roof, lower roof. Now we got a single slope roof. And the reason they did that is because thinking in the future, if you ever need to put storage within that building or a rack system, a mezzanine, you need the higher roof on the one side to put the mezzanine to that side so you can get in and out. You can't fit the mezzanine underneath the lower roof. So they're thinking about things in the future that they might need, which are now incorporated into the project. Fire protection, which is sprinkler systems. CL Doucette is the low bidder. They're out of Chicago, good outfit. I believe the owners live in Wooddale. So he went after pretty hard to do it in his backyard. It also includes the water main for the future sprinkler system in the pre-engineered metal building. Plumbing, 8H Plumbing, they're out of Elk Grove for all the plumbing work, which is the 6 bathrooms, a kitchen, and a kitchenette, as well as a mud room that has a large basin for cleaning everything down.
Quick question on that one.
Yep.
Go ahead, Alderman Messina.
So there's quite a delta, right?
There is.
Is there an option, not that these guys and gals don't need a space to eat, but can we take a phased approach to that, or maybe wait till some of the building costs go down? And
Well, part of that really, oops, I hit the wrong button, sorry. The kitchenettes aren't that bad, to be honest with you. You got a sink, disposal, dishwasher. The bathrooms are pretty intense with the plumbing. We got to do a lot of saw cutting of the floor. The underground piping has to go in there. The old bathrooms where they're at, they're going to take all that out, demo that pipe out, and reconnect to the outside of the building. We have 4 individual shower bathrooms for the members, and then there's 2 new bathrooms going into the office side of the facility for people that show up.
Follow up, go ahead.
I know we just went through this exercise with PD, but like, and maybe this is a question for Director Lang. Does the crew actually utilize the showers? Or it would make sense? Or can we maybe make, instead of 4, maybe 3? Or find ways to cut that? I mean, it's a huge difference.
Mr. Lane.
Well, right now, the crews don't really have any showers, so they don't have that option, but I'm sure, you know, as guys, they come to work, they get oily, they get dirty, they would like the option if they have to go somewhere afterwards to be able to shower. You know, taking a phased approach, especially for plumbing, because as Fred mentioned, a lot of the cost is in the underground work. We're putting in showers and kitchens where there's right now office spaces. A lot of work is that underground work, and we can't really phase that off because, you know, the finishing and all that relies on having that work completed, so.
Is there any,
Go ahead, Alderman Messina.
any savings by minimum? Like, I just don't see this needing 4 showers. We're going from 0, right? So, and I get it, they do need it. I probably more than PD might, but, I mean, could we get away with 2? I mean, are there even any females in Public Works? So if we had to, so if we did add a crew, it'd be 1 and 1. I mean, I just feel like it's kind of overkill.
Go ahead, Alderman, Mr. Lane, sorry.
Yeah, we are planning for the future. We don't have any females on staff, aside from our lab technician at the moment. But they are unisex showers, so they could be used by anybody. And we are bringing 8 additional employees from the utilities division, or 7 rather, from the utilities division who are not gonna be housed here as well. So you're gonna have a total of, 18 to 20 staff here. If we add future positions, that number could grow. We're not just planning for the present, we're planning for 30, 40 years down the road, assuming that this is where
That's a
we'll be.
4 showers, that's like a house
Go ahead,
party.
Alderman Messina.
I mean, for 20 people?
We usually have a crew of 3 or 4 guys on a waterman break, assuming they all, were out there for 12 hours and wanted to come in and it's off. If they had to stay for in the next shift, then, this is something that's common in nearly every other public works facility now. They have locker rooms for their staff, they have showers.
Follow. Alderman Sismarski, you had your hand up?
Yeah, what if you were, like, someone gave you all the equipment for those showers and bathrooms, like faucets and, would that bring that down?
If you
Go ahead.
supply all those, if you supplied those materials?
If
Yeah,
there was a donor out there that would give them to you, a corporation that would probably donate them to you.
yeah, we would save the material cost.
So,
Absolutely.
and that's half the battle right there is the,
Yeah, labor is probably more.
well, yeah,
two-thirds.
the labor,
Go
but,
ahead.
Yeah,
labor, but also the shower heads, and faucet heads and
Yes.
sinks and.
yes, if, a lot of people like to donate stuff like that, and that's fine, we can accept that. But you gotta keep in mind, if you donate it and something goes wrong with it, you call the plumber, he says, well, I didn't provide it, you did, so it's
Right.
your responsibility. So, in a way, it is good, you save some money, but then it takes some of the warranty issues. flips
Yeah,
it
it's a
around.
corporation
Follow
that
up,
makes those
Alderman
parts.
Sismarski?
I'm sorry. Yeah, that's a
Go ahead.
corporation that makes those parts. So they're well known.
Okay, it's fine, if you can tell us what you got, we can deduct what we don't need.
Alderman Woods, you're next.
I was just gonna say incrementally, just eliminating the 2 showers, unless we eliminate the square footage, isn't gonna eliminate that much cost, right? Because we're just
Correct.
the rough end of 2 shower valves, a shower head, and maybe 1 more drain.
And the shower itself.
I mean,
the
that
walls.
savings is probably like less than $5,000,
Yeah,
probably
it'll be Probably
3,500.
close to that, yeah, it'd be a little bit more than that, but yes.
So,
If you're gonna put all the stuff in for putting it in the future.
Right.
You're just saving just the outside.
So the bulk of
Go
this
ahead.
is in the underground, getting everything roughed in, the saw cutting, like you said, the demo cut
Yeah.
patch.
There is an issue that I'm working on with the architect, with Alan's assistance, is the showers are done very nicely with Corian walls. That's very expensive.
Yeah,
So we're trying to look at buying a prefab shower maybe, or something a little bit more prefab, meaning, with plastic surround and so forth, shower. We're still gonna put a good basin in, still put a shower in. Maybe the accordion takes a little bit more abuse, but for this application, I don't think you need to get that fancy. So
Right.
I'm working with the architect and also the owner here to see if we can save some money there.
Alderman Woods, follow up?
no, I'm good, thanks.
Anyone else? Continue, please.
Okay, next one is HVAC. Let me get to the right button here, this one right here. We saved some money there. You probably looked at all those bids. There was quite a difference in the bidders on that one. So we were a little concerned. We did bring him in, obviously, and went through the whole project with him. The job is coming at the right time for him, meaning through the winter. So he's looking for work to keep the guys going. He's got plenty of summer work. He needs some winter work to fill in. He also does his own control work for the heating system, where people were getting bids for their control work, which was $45,000. He felt he could do it for under 10 because he does it in-house with his own people. We did check references on him, which are good. He does have a bond included, even though we don't want to go there with that, but he's got all the right paperwork. He says he still wants the job. We offered it to him to back out. He says, no, I want the job, I'll do it, and I will do it right. So with that, we can't discount him just unless we really think it's not gonna work, but right now, the way he presented himself, he knew the job, knew what had to be done. So we're gonna give him a shot. That's what we're recommending anyways. Electrical was another one. Argonne Electric. We have worked with Argonne Electric in the past. He's out of Buffalo Grove. He had a substantially low number as well. He did walk the job twice, really got into the job during our pre-construction meetings out there. And he has some ideas on how to save some money for himself to make this thing work. And what he indicated was nothing that we wouldn't agree to. And he's gonna be buying the job, and he's got a foreman, and it's coming at a good time. He wants to keep his people working for the next projects.
Follow. On the electrical, for some reason, and I know we got these new revised packets, so for some reason I can't find the bid sheets. But I thought the electrical was below budget before.
Let's see.
That was Tuesday.
Yeah,
This is the world we live in.
the electrical, it's slightly over there.
I remember looking at the bid sheets.
Well, maybe when we put in, and we kept this separate, is the alternate for the,
I'll tell you right now. There you go.
I should have it.
I can't seem to bring it up.
The electrical bids, we had 9 bids there, and he was $397. Next closest bid to him was $577. So there was a substantial difference there, and the numbers went all the way up to $800,000, which.
Right, I remember there was
Yeah.
for some reason I remember that one was under budget, but, okay, maybe I mistaken. Okay,
Yeah.
I'll look up.
So he is over, but still the best number over, I guess. And again, we sat down with him, went through the whole process. He has the right paperwork. He has the bond. We have worked
Right.
with him in the past. We know he can do the job.
Okay, Alderman Jacob?
Yeah, for the attorney, on all these, do we have to go with the lowest bidder?
Mr. Conway?
So under Illinois law, it's called the lowest responsible bidder.
Right.
So obviously you're looking,
Okay.
trying to get the lowest bidder. But also you want to look at responsible bidder, somebody who's responsible for the bid package, somebody who has a good track record.
And my only reason I asked that is,
Follow up?
yeah, the only reason I asked that is on the last two, you said they want to help keep the people that are working, just doesn't give me a warm, fuzzy feeling. Almost sounds like if they don't get the job, I mean, they're going to be out of business. I just want to make sure these.
No,
Go ahead.
Sorry. We do check we check their financial statements as well, ask for a balance sheet within the last 6 months to a year. So we do check that as well, make sure they have the money to back what they're saying. So we do go through that as well. And we're not gonna be paying these guys up front. They have to do their job. We pay them 30 days in arrears. So, we'll always have money to do the work if they were to fail on us. We'd have to find somebody else, of course, but.
No, thank you.
Alderman Woods, you had your hand up?
Yeah, I was gonna say, I think that comment was the guy was more aggressive than the other guys who were almost triple his
Yeah.
price.
Well, you
And
gotta
they
remember,
wanted
the
to
guys
get-
that are triple in price, they don't want the job. They just-
Right, of
They didn't even
course,
look at it.
that's what I'm saying.
Right.
So, the alternate for the gas with generator, which is part of electrical, but it's further down, because it was an alternate, they were all pretty close with that generator price, and he's got that covered too, at the right number.
Hold on one second. Alderman Messina?
Yeah, no, I am looking at the numbers, and even at 397, Argonne Electric is still significantly lower than the
Yeah.
alternative bids that came in.
Yeah, a couple $100,000.
Yeah.
Okay. So that, maybe that's
So,
what,
again-
maybe that's what it was. I remember them being, and I thought it was cheaper than the budget, but okay.
But even, like I said, we brought them in, we sat them down, we gave them the opportunity to say, hey, you got a mistake, tell us now, we need to know, we'll let you go, we'll go on to the next item. And even though we didn't want to do that, but we gave them the opportunity to back out if he had to. But they decided to keep the job.
Okay, go ahead.
Next, so that's that group of things. We had some contingencies in there. So when you take these numbers together, we're 254,900 over. But we did have some contingencies because we were basing it off of conceptual and SD drawings, not the final drawings. So we get to use that money. Now it brings us that we're over by that. And that's where we would award it at. This construction contingency would hold throughout the job as we move along, just in case there's some unforeseen conditions that pop up because we are doing some remodeling and so forth. So we hold that. It's still your money. You get it back. We have to get it approved to spend any of it with the owner. So right now, that's the situation there. But as we move down onto page 2, and we're recommending some of these items, and they were alternates. So this was the roofing or re-roofing of the 790 building, which we received prices on. Weather Guard was our low bidder. This was the budget. That was his bid. Now, we talked to him about how can we save some money, and we decided we can go with a TPO roof. It's just another type of membrane versus an EPDM membrane. They're still both the same thickness. They still give you the same warranty. You're getting a 20-year warranty on the roof. Just that some contractors can do certain materials cheaper than other contractors. They got a better deal with the certain contractors. And he said we could save $6,000 on that. So we decided that that's probably a good take. We've used a lot of TPO roofs in the past. It's a white roof as well. So that brings us to that number for him. And we're getting cheaper there. We did have some design construction contingencies in that roof. So we use that, and actually the roofing is costing us a little less than what we budgeted. So that 98664 would then go to that overage up on the first page and starting to reduce that overage. It's a good roofer, Weather Guard. We use them a lot. We recommend them a lot. So we have no problem using Weather Guard. It was a close bid. A1 Roofing was pretty close to his bid. So then we moved on to the next item, which is the gas generator, the natural gas generator, which again, this was an item that was an alternate. We're not sure if you're going to provide it or not. It's something that I guess everybody says they would like to have to run the system and run the building. Even the additional building that's going to be built would also be part of that. So it's a big generator. Price from Argonne, this is our budget. Argonne was 127, big savings there. And this number's in line with a lot of the other bidders that came out too. So he wasn't substantially low on the generator. Gas piping, we need to put a little gas piping to tie it into the main service. The Quality Mechanical would do that. So it shows it a negative, but it's really all part of this thing here, so.
Go ahead, Alderman Messina.
So that was that quality mechanical out of Harvey that was the low bidder on another part of this project, right?
Correct.
Follow up?
Go ahead.
So that is a separate line item, though, not part of his initial bid, correct?
Correct.
Okay, so in addition to, thank you.
Yes.
And,
We kept it because it's an alternate.
Sure, okay.
and this is probably where I saw Argonne, the electric, substantially cheaper.
Yeah,
So, yeah, got it.
yeah.
Okay.
So this package, like I said, we had some contingencies for that. So in total, we're saving from what we budgeted, $227,000 on this item. So if you apply that with all the others, now we're ahead of the game as far as what we budgeted for all these items.
Alderman Woods, go ahead.
Yeah, just so, we're talking about all these budget numbers, but the
Yeah.
generator originally wasn't part of the project, correct? This is an
Correct.
extra
These
added.
are all the alternates.
The two alternates, even the roofing wasn't part of the
Correct.
original
So
scope.
just
the
what we're
roofing
saying, plus
and-
or minus,
Yes.
these are all technically
Well,
add-ons to the original just so
Yes, sir.
Yes.
I'm
You are cor-
following you.
You are correct.
Mayor?
Thank you.
Alderman Catalano?
Yeah, so with all these low bids, I mean, they can come back with change orders, correct? What kind of stipulation do we have in the contract as far
We're
as
not
change
looking
orders?
for change orders.
Go ahead, Fred.
So they're locking into a number
Mhm.
to what's required by the documents and the scope of work that we applied to them after our review as well. And they've assured us that that's the work. They also have a bond that says that's the work.
Yeah.
So to get a change order, they have to have real good reason, or why are they asking for more money? I found a change here, we gotta do this instead. If it's legit, we'll bring it to the group and see if we wanna approve it. But if it's just a matter of, I found my mistake now, okay, too bad. You have to live by it, that's why you have a bond. And the
Right.
bonding company would back that up.
And the change orders, so if we initiate a change, that becomes a change order.
Right, that's different. right.
If something happens on the job that was unforeseen, it still has to be approved by the city and our,
Right, and we have a contingency for some of that money. So if we had to go there, we would go there without raising the budget, raising the total job would come out of the contingency. Yes, you get less back because we take it out of there.
So the city's protected then?
yes.
Thank
But
you.
you get to see every change, or the owner would see every change and go through them and the architect for approval first.
Correct. All right, go ahead.
Okay, so the letter, basically at the bottom of the letter, we're basically saying that this award that we're recommending for is a grand total of $3,735,275 for the subcontractors that we're presenting. We are still carrying about a 5% contingency then, which amounts to about $188,000 set aside, not to be used unless we get approval.
And could you give the original budget number so people are listening? Are we in budget?
Yes, all right, let me get that last sheet. Is it on here, Alan?
It was on the,
There we go. So this is where we're at. Sorry. This is the bids. Okay, there's a 3735. This is the variances. When you get all said and done, we're 184,942.
and we still have the contingencies in
Positive
there.
over what was budgeted,
Correct.
and we still are carrying the contingency, that's correct.
Okay. Any other questions? So, do we need a motion?
Yeah, the motion that we're looking
So
for.
I have made that motion. I was the motioner.
Oh, yeah. No, well, we didn't have a number on there. Need to put that,
Right, the motion is approving the agreements as recommended by FQC, which in their recommendation letter, they have that figure that Fred just mentioned at the bottom.
Right, but this isn't our packet, so if we
Correct.
read your packet, then, these numbers were given. I
right,
can-
but
I
it should
can-
be,
I can amend my-
it should be a
my-
not to exceed amount of 3.735,
Okay.
and whatever
So-
the change is.
So I'd like to make a motion to approve,
Well, It's just, all we're adding is the not to exceed amount.
okay, a
So-
not to exceed amount of $3,735,275. That would be my motion.
That's the amended motion.
Amended.
Art was the
Oh.
seconder on this one.
I agree.
Are you changing it, I'm sorry, are you changing the number of the contingency to, or?
No, the
Okay.
contingencies stay in there for contingency purposes.
Probably, you
Go
got
ahead,
another
Alderman
180, I don't know if you want to add that on.
No, it's already in there.
All
Correct?
right.
The contingencies are added in that 3.7 number.
They're not. On top of.
In addition to,
There's.
It's in addition to.
Structure, contingency structure is kind of in the whole project that we have set aside. So those percentages are already approved. So those will be added to this number, but they're already approved.
So the motion should be with the contingency.
That's what I'm asking.
No.
And we're gonna build the next phase, and these numbers then will be part of that next phase package.
Okay.
Will be the whole project.
So what
Got
FQC
it.
is going to provide after we go through the second bid release is they're going to give us a guaranteed maximum price, which is the maximum number that is not to exceed for the entire project.
So we don't need the not to exceed on this one?
I believe you can pass the motion just as the memo is written.
Well,
Feel
let's
free,
get Mr.
Attorney
Conway.
Conway.
Because this is phase one.
Right.
The resolution includes this, this letter document as an exhibit. So you can just go with the original motion, and you'll be approving both the not to exceed amount of the $3 million and the contingency.
I was gonna say, could we use
Okay.
just a percentage amount?
Correct.
Because the percentage amount of 5% will not change.
So
The
we
amount
don't-
may change, like you said in phase two, that 5% of a higher number is obviously gonna, so it's gonna be higher, but that 5% is gonna be consistent.
So we
Okay.
don't need the not to exceed, so
Correct.
need
we'll
to-
go back to the original motion. Is that okay,
Correct.
Alderman Messina?
May I ask the attorney?
Yeah,
Go
so
ahead.
you'd amend your motion to the original motion.
Okay. Okay. I'd like to amend my motion to the original motion.
Alderman Woods?
Yeah, I was gonna say, we're getting a little carried away, because there's a guiding document, a bigger project. This is a
372.
bifurcation of that one, we'll call it 1/3 of the project.
Right.
And so we're just approving this 1/3. We don't need to bring in those other numbers into this to
Okay.
confuse it.
Just,
So ultimately, resolution, this is I'd make the motion, a resolution approving an agreement between the city of Wooddale and trade services contractors for phase one renovations and additions to the public works facility. That would be my motion.
and Alderman Woods.
I
Concur.
agree. I
Okay.
concur.
And then.
All right, any other questions? All right, let's get a roll call now.
Yes. Alderman Catalano.
Yes.
Alderman Currielli.
Yes.
Alderman Jacob.
Yes.
Alderman Messina.
Yes.
Alderman Sismarski.
Yes.
Alderman Woods.
Yes.
And that passes.
And that concludes my report.
Thank you. Finance and Administration, Alderman Catalano.
Yes, I have two, Mayor. An ordinance proposing a redevelopment plan and project for the designation of Bussey Highway Tax Increment Financing Redevelopment Project Area and the adoption of the tax increment allocation financing, therefore convene a joint review board and call in a public hearing in connection therewith. That is my motion.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any questions? Roll call.
Alderman Ames. Yes. Alderman Catalano.
Yes.
Alderman Currielli.
Yes.
Alderman Jacob.
Yes.
Alderman Messina.
Yes.
Alderman Sismarski.
Yes.
Alderman Woods.
Yes.
And that passes.
And next is an ordinance authorizing the establishment of tax increment financing, interested parties, registries, and adopting registration rules for such registries. That is my motion.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Questions on this? Roll call.
Alderman Ames. Yes. Alderman Catalano.
Yes.
Alderman Currielli.
Yes.
Alderman Jacob.
Yes.
Alderman Messina.
Yes.
Alderman Sismarski.
Yes.
Alderman Woods.
Yes.
And that passes.
And that's the end of my report.
Thank you. Under other business, airport noise real quick. So Fly Quiet Committee is coming to the end. They finished option H today. They'll probably be bringing, not sure if it's B and H to the full board. And then there's also discussions about a new committee for daytime type noise that we're still trying to get more information on. As far as the stormwater, nothing there. Approval of list of bills, Alderman Catalano.
Yes, I'd like to entertain a motion for the approval list of bills for December 16, 2021
Second.
for $516,516.98. That is my motion.
And Alderman Woods, second.
Second again.
Okay?
Questions on the bills? Roll call.
Alderman Ames.
Yes.
Alderman Catalano.
Yes.
Alderman Currielli.
Yes.
Alderman Jacob.
Yes.
Alderman Messina.
Yes.
Alderman Sismarski.
Yes.
Alderman Woods.
Yes.
And that passes. We do need to go to executive session for review of the official minutes and land acquisition. I need a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor? Opposed? Adjourned into executive session.